We are back, and this time we have the Economy 2 update installed. So there's a couple of mod issues still with the mod pack that I've built and use, but they don't break anything for now, at least not anything that I'm aware of. So yeah, we will give it a testing round and check out the different blocks that came with the DLC. See where we could make use of them, and yeah, then see what to do next. Talking about that, let's have a look at what we built last time and what I did between episodes. So what we did was to basically finish the new factory area, except for the decorations on the sides, because we're missing some specific components for that, but we have our build plate here that can move up and down. And I've also grinded down all of the partially built building that we did for a quick test run. And let me see, can I showcase that? Factory piston base, reverse. Of course, it's very slow, but that is intended. We still need to automate everything, and we'll probably add a bunch of timer blocks and event controls at the bottom. And yeah, this is moving up slowly. I did add some decorations, like this wall here that is separating the two areas. A bit of lighting and also a screen at the top to show a little bit of in-progress work, basically, or give the illusion of that. Then get that back again. We also added or have added our, which one was it? Well, the hinge, reverse, hinge lock. Our attachment point for printing new buildings that can fold in and out, and of course our rooftop that can be opened up. We also built one wall and closed up the rest of this other wall last time, and I replicated the design of the other side and also added some more pipeworks to make it look a bit nicer. And when everything is folded up, we have a open access to the interior, to whatever is printed and ready, and can then pull it out with a special vehicle that we still need to design and build. I left the rear wall open because we still need to build another smaller factory, because after thinking a little bit about it, this big one is really specialized in constructing this one building type, so the mining facility over there. We might be able to build other kind of buildings with that later on, but for now we just use it for that kind or special building. But we will need an area that is allowing us to easily print our mining drones and also delivery drones that we still need to design. So for today I thought we can go and finish or build our drone hub. And for that we could also make use of the new block types. The only thing that is missing here is, while we do have those pipes for decorative purposes, we still need a conveyor that is going out below here. And I just noticed there is a block missing. That is also not very nice. Don't think I can place it from here, can I? No, doesn't look like it. Okay, I will fix that later. Yeah, so the idea is to extend that further and have different landing ports for drones. Maybe, I don't know, 4, 6, however many we need. And use this here as an access point to get to their docking base. Let's see what the new DLC has in store for us. So, it's the Economy Pack 2. First of all, we have a new Safe Zone Type 2 block, but that one is for the far future of our series here. And the more interesting part, at least in my opinion, are the vivariums. There are actually two kinds of different variants, the all-around one and the corner version. So let's pull them in, because I don't think I have a fitting slot anywhere here. And that would be the first one, which is quite huge. Actually, let me go into creative mode to place it down, then we can easily have a look. So let's put that one over here. Next one over here. Now that does look quite nice. Oh, are they? I thought they were open on the top. That would be strange, but yeah, that is looking really, really nice. I'm pretty sure we can make good use of that. Vivarium? No, it's just those versions. There's not a version that has open sides, is there? No, we have this one then that comes with 2 sides blocked for corner rooms, although I find that strange a little bit, at least, because you can just close it off with regular blocks. It would have been much more interesting to have a version that is usable for airtight rooms without any glass blocks, so that you can actually build like a biodome inside of a ship without having to have glass walls all around. But anyway, it's nice to have that decorative piece at all. It's always nice to have more decoration parts. Then yeah, the new safe zone looks pretty awesome, to be honest. Still as bulky as the last one. We have the access port here at the back, but it's kind of fits in place with the new jump drive that was added, I think with the core update. And then we have a bunch of new viewports, very narrow ones and angled ones, which is very good for building big defensive building structures, or yeah, using them in larger armored vehicles or ships. And an angled door, which is kind of funny. But more interesting is the different bulk containers that we have now. And I know that those are part of the container category. There. They are quite huge, have 2 connection ports on the bottom. I don't think they have any on the top though. No, they don't. But 1 at the front, 1 at the back, and then again 2 on the bottom. So 4 in total, but the interesting bit is their capacity. It's 820,000 liters, while the regular big ones have 421,000 kind of. So it's nearly twice as much. And then also in a very nice rectangular shape that you can use very good at for cargo haulers or something like that, or just a larger storage in your base. I haven't checked if they actually also take up twice the amount of space, so let's have a quick look. Yeah, okay, so it is the same length, so you get slightly less storage capacity than using 2 large industrial containers, because they have, what was it again exactly, 421,000 and some, so that's 842,000, while this one has 820,000. So I don't know why they decided to use less than twice the amount of those large containers, since it does use the same amount of space. But again, I'm always happy to get some new decorative blocks. And yeah, talking about decorations, there's also the new billboard LCDs. This one, and the other one is the flat version. Now this is nice. This is really nice. So it's actually the 2 different screens that you can configure with the standard stuff. Some graphs, for example. But yeah, and then we have, I think, 3 screens on this one. Yes, that is very not interesting, but useful for advertisements or just decorative purposes, and also to direction information, for example. But there should be more. First of all, we have this kind of closed off section, then we have different kinds of diagonal beams, even ones that are slightly longer sometimes. But there should also be the new landing pad connector kind of item. I just need to find it in the categories. But yeah, those structures or those beams might be pretty useful to build something that is actually standing on those feet. So if we turn that around, let's use the smallest one here, you can make that in a way that it's connected to the side of something and then stands on the flat foot here, which I think is pretty interesting and looks a bit nicer than building that from regular brick blocks or the classical beam blocks. And yeah, now I just need to find that new landing pad. Alright, I found everything that I was looking for. It was in the structure category, and I'm not sure if it's part of any of my existing categories. Maybe with the menu 9. Let's see if we scroll through here. Yes, they are part of this. So we have big structural plates or platforms. Those can also be quite interesting for the drone hub, but might be too big in terms of those corner pieces. But I want to make use of the platform connector, because it's basically, yeah, what was it, 4 PCU versus 25 or something like that, compared to building all of that out of blocks. And it has nice lighting in those round corner pieces here. So I would like to make use of that for the drone hub, and basically make that one platform for each drone that is then docking to the base. Alright, now, do we have access to conveyors from down below here? Well, we could grab something from over there, and then we want to make a connection. Let's see, from here. Alright, let me quickly weld that up, because I forgot we also have our access port now that we added last time. Over here. That allows us to get right to this area and weld everything up. So yeah, see you in a moment. Alright, let's see. Is that even something we want this way? Probably not. Would be better to have that conveyor be the bottom of our walkway here. That's not bad. And we have the same kind of blocks over here already, and this way it's a bit clearer that there's an exit way. I could even maybe add some yeah, floor passage blocks here to highlight the walkway towards that door. But yeah, I think we can keep it this way. So now next step is to extend this conveyor row again. Reinforced tube this time. Yeah, we do it this way around. And where do we want to have our first landing pad? This way we have half, 1, 2, 3 blocks of space. That might be good. And for the structure, one like this. Another one. Actually, those are getting quite long, so we might want to do that as a wider landing pad instead, or landing area. Or do we want to do that smaller after all? This is getting quite huge. We get a better look from the top here. Yeah, that is getting quite large. We could, however, do it into this direction instead. So how does it look like from inside of our gallery? Because I do want to have that effect of sitting there and watching the drones come and land and go again without obstructing all of the view, which this part is kind of doing. So yeah, I think we will do that just with one row extending towards the existing mining facility in the distance. So like this, so we can enter from here and can walk around this area and inspect our drones. We might even add another row of blocks here just for the walkway, and then we can have more of those platform connectors over here. And we use the new structural diagonal beams. Question is just which size do we use? No, we just don't have enough space for that walkway that I mentioned, because if we move that one further it would collide with the building. It's just barely fitting here. Question is, do I want to move that even one block further out so that we can have that walkway? Yeah, I think I will move it out. So yeah, see you in a bit. Alright, let's see. What do we want to use as a runaround block? Those slopes. So that it becomes kind of a bit more roundish on the bottom side. And for symmetry we do that on the other side as well. Not enough steel plate. Interesting. What is that light effect? Oh! What the heck is going on here? Now that must be a bug of the new version, because honestly those blocks are not welded up fully and those effects are kind of getting heavier every second. Oh wow. And turning them off doesn't change anything. Alright, so I guess the new version introduced a bug. Yeah, no, I need to get rid of them. This is killing my performance for some reason. Alright, that was a bit unexpected, to be honest. I mean, I know new versions can introduce bugs and so on, but didn't see that one happen yet. But anyway, let's continue where we were. We needed 3 more pieces here, and now the question is how to build those beam blocks or the diagonal beams into that. And we need the longer version, 4x4. And this is how it would look. Nice. Alright, and we do that on the other side, and then we can design the walkway. Nice, I like that. Okay, so for the walkway, I was thinking to just use the railing, because we want to have that basically open. So I was saying we want to have that open so that drones cannot collide with any structures here, and we can freely walk around. And not fall off to the sides. So like this, and then, so what I'm trying to do is to build some lighting into the whole setup here. Let's just skip that first one and go for those 2 first. Yeah, that would be good lighting for our drone landing pads. And I just need to replicate that on the other side, and also yeah, we probably won't have that on this side, only in the middle then. And we'll just increase the radius, and if we ever add another landing pad here, we can then just again add those in the middle and leave the last one out. Yeah. Alright. So I will add those lights and then get our welder ship, the shrimp, and weld everything up. So yeah, let's get going. Okay, everything is welded up, and I just realized I didn't even have to go every time to the docking port for our welder. I could have just docked here. And now, with a new block, we can also see that those highlights here are all turning green, like the whole connector itself, and that is working pretty well, I would say. Now, one piece that is still missing is that we have had those pipe works, and I would really like to connect them up somehow. So let's see. This was over here. Let's take a little bit of steel and interior plate. And let's see, pipe straight. Yeah. Those go over here, and then actually I did add the railing here, but I think I wanted to have that a kind of tunnel that is then opening up towards the platform. So instead, let's check what kind of yeah, passageways we could use. We have the, where is it? Here. We have those two classical ones that aren't too shabby. Then we have those with a railing, and I think the round one comes next. No, the corridor one comes next. And I would like to have one like this that has windows on both sides. Do we have an alternative to that? Not really, right? No. It's the only one that has those windows. Actually, the windowed one with railing also has windows on both sides. So we could use that instead. And then another door at the end. And over here we need the full door block, not just half. So let's use the one with glass panes because it looks just nicer. And the same on the other side, like so. That should open and close automatically. And we weld up this last one, and the rest goes into our shrimp, and we weld it up with the ship. Nice. I like those new platforms. Especially since you can also see once you are in docking range that those markers, the indicators, turn from white to yellow like the connector itself. So it's much easier to see. Now let's do the same over here. Automated opening and closing. And we need to finish our piping here. Let's do that now. And then I would say that part is done. We just need to configure our lights here. Okay, looking at that, I think we still need more lights after all for the other platforms. So maybe just on the other side we do that. And over here. And then for the passage, you could just add a light like this. Might be sufficient already. And then as a final step, we should have a way to get up here in case we are ever at the bottom side. Something over here. But there we have the beam block. That won't really work, won't it? Will it? Unless... Huh, no, that actually might work. So like this, and then we use the staircase. It is slightly floating, but see if I can get below there and add something at the bottom. Nice. Okay. So we have our drone hub here, or at least the landing platforms for the drones. And with that we can then continue with the next step, which is to design our first transport drone. But first let me get our welder or shrimp back into its own seat. And then I think it's time, as mentioned, to design our first delivery drone. Because those will have to land over there when coming back from any of the mining facilities, with the first one being the one over there. So yeah, let's get... oh, it's quite dark here. Let's get into our garage. And I think we will make use of our construction here to build the drone in this space, weld it up, and then fly it outwards and dock it to the respective area that we need it at. So for that we will park our rover on the outside to free up some space. Okay, we will start with a storage container. Specifically the modular one is what I want to use. And we can already at the top add the access panel, and then distance set. Let's set that to 6, and velocity, let's go down until it attaches. Move it up. And stay there. Because we want to also put a connector on the bottom side. And then we need batteries. I like to use the warfare one because it just looks a bit nicer. Those we add to the sides. Then atmospheric thrusters. Sci-fi version because it's cool. 2 to the sides of the batteries. Because that will even out the shape a little bit so that the next block in diagonal line with the conveyor port is then near the attachment point of our to be placed flat thrusters, because I want to create a kind of quadrocopter delivery drone look with this. So 2 on this side, 2 on that side. And then we need forward and sideward thrust. Like so. And then our up thrust. And we need to take care, because there is a extra bit here for the connection of the cabling towards the rotor, and I want that to face inward towards the container. So orientation does matter with those. And now it already looks like a delivery drone from above. Alright, so control. Control will be done through the helms block, because I like that one. It's very slim and a good fit here. And while we add this position, we can also add the programmable block to this side, so then we can just look to the right and have access to the displays there. Now, what else do we need? We need a remote controller and a camera, but I will use the automaton top-mounted version, and also a event controller block, plus an antenna. Let's use one for... actually... yeah, no, let's switch that up a little bit. Just need to take care that I'm not grinding off the wrong block here, because everything is connected to that storage container. If that is gone, we have to start from scratch. So again, remote block, where is it? There. This one needs to be facing the direction that we are flying towards, so let's put it over here. And then we put the event controller below it, because then we can use the nicer looking parabolic antenna on... oh, why can't I place it over there? I can only place it there because... huh. Okay, let's try something. Because we need to extend that by 1 ring anyway. Can I now place... oh, that is strange. Okay. I can't. Okay, in that case, let's go with the regular small antenna after all. And we cap it off with those blocks that follow the shape of the container, which we can also use around the helms block. Yeah. All right. Then we want to also have a access panel at the front so that we can access the cargo from there. And finally, the event controller, by the way, will be used to turn on and off everything depending on the docking with the conveyor port here. Not conveyor port, with the connector. Let's add some lights for that connector to see what is below us, and also no, grid will split because the thruster will fall down. That's also not what we want. Okay, then let's keep it as it is for now. No searchlights. Usually searchlights are a good option for drones for the remote controlling, so that you can have a single block that is acting as a pan and tilt camera. I like to use them usually for that purpose. So let's see, where are we? The thrusters over here. The small rectangular thruster. Let's point it downward. This gives us a little bit more thrust to all sides. And those drones don't have to have a lot, because we're using the Pan AutoMiner script, and that will have already a very good working control mechanism. Now, is that something that I'm happy with now? Yeah, I feel low, I know. I think I am happy with that design. Now, are we missing anything? Let's think. Yeah. Something is missing. Let's put that maybe on the other side over here. Do we want to mount it to that block to face the other side of the programmable block? Yeah, maybe. The gyro is missing. Orientation doesn't really matter in this case. Can just do it like that. So now we have lights to the sides to just give a bit of light around us when we land and fly around. We have floodlights front and back, and we have 8 sci-fi small thrusters going down, large flat atmospheric thrusters also 4, and we have 2 of those into each direction and 2 of those additionally to those directions. 2 batteries, 1 cargo container, and the connector can also accept a little bit of capacity, or has a bit of capacity, and 1 top-mounted camera. We have an antenna for remote control, and event controller for the docking procedure, and the remote block for the actual controlling. I think that's it. Now the last bits and pieces that we can change is... where is it? Like this. Like that, to make that just look a little bit nicer. Oh, but here it's correct, yeah. Alright. I think I am happy with that design, so let's weld it all up and give it a test run. Okay, so some smaller adjustments. I made this piece a bit more roundish because I didn't like the look of it before, and added also some reinforcements here because I noticed that well, all of those parts were hooked up with a single block, and so there's something not fully welded up. So if that one block failed, the whole side of the thruster would fall off, which we can't have, of course. And yeah, while the shrimp did help us initially with some of the components, not everything could be welded up due to reach, but now I think we have everything now. Yeah, I don't see any loose ends. Yeah, so I think it's time to give this a small test run. So let me use our piston here to move that all lower. And then, well, do we want to have some kind of landing feed? That I think might not be the worst idea, to be honest.
Low.
Okay, so we now have 4 wheel-based landing, well, stilts, not gears, similar to our shrimp, because that's I think is the safer option right now. We don't want to use the locking and unlocking options anyway, so let's do what we wanted to do before. Lower that thing down. Then auto lock off, switch lock, retreat. Then we can turn. Do we want to? No, let's save it first. Give it a name. That is our Earth cargo drone. Yeah, we keep it like that. Save it. And now we turn on the batteries. First one and second one. And yeah, the interesting part will be if those batteries are actually enough to give us enough thrust in all directions. Whoa! Yeah, that's why you do save your blueprint. Nice. Nicely done. Okay, so another thing we need is a projector now. Well, accidents happen, so let me quickly load that new blueprint and rebuild what we are missing. Okay, it's repaired. Let's see, do we have any damaged parts? No. Okay. Another try, and I need to open the door again. Hopefully this time without any damage, because with those 4 thrusters and no load right now in our cargo, I underestimated how quickly we would rise with a flick of the space key. So let's see, how big actually is that drone now on the landing spot? That looks good. Nice. Now that looks like a good delivery drone. I like that. There's still some smaller bits and pieces that I'm thinking of connecting. So, for example, now that we can weld that block off, we could, for example, also go for this kind of connection. And then do a... which one is it? I think this one. Yeah. Kind of like this. Okay, I gave everything a nice paint job to match our standard color scheme, and with that I think the shape and the looks of the ship of the drone is done. But first configuration with PAM and setting up the mining, or not mining, but the delivery path, and also some of the automation, I think we will do next episode. And once that is all working and bring us our cargo, we can also start, well, designing the next ship, which is our cargo lifter, our building cargo lifting vehicle, which will either be a large block or again small block version with a lot of thrusters. I need to try that out a little bit. So yeah. I thank you all for watching. I hope you liked this episode, and next time we will do some more with our delivery drones. So see you back on Earth next time, and bye bye.